Hello, everyone, and welcome. We've got a Division 5 matchup here between Caltech and Duke's C team. I don't think we've watched Caltech yet. We've watched a couple Duke matches. I don't know if we've watched any Duke C teams or any Division 5 matches, so this is pretty exciting. This is week 4 of the Collegiate Chess League's spring 2023 season. My name is Joe, and I am the commissioner of the Collegiate Chess League, so let's dive right in. We've got some games underway. All right, let's check it out. This is round 1. I just moved to California recently, so maybe I have to cheer on for the Caltech team. I actually should visit them. I don't think I've been to their campus, but we do have their team playing in the Collegiate Chess League. We have a 2288 here, top board from Caltech. So that's the thing about these A teams versus C team matchups. The A teams will have the school's best player on them, whereas a school like Duke, they'll have their best players on a higher team. This is their C team, so they have two whole teams registered in higher divisions. So their C team can't have their best players. Why these two teams are placed in the same division is based off their average team rating. So Caltech, even though they have a 2288 on board 1, if we look at their board 4, this is Hannah, also known as Chess Dog. She is 1300, and she's playing against Kevin from Duke at 1800. So the ratings, in theory, should balance out, and you will have the teams essentially have more or less the same average rating. That's why Caltech, their A team is in Division 5. They have a 2288 on board 1 and a 1300 on board 4. Whereas Duke, their C team, their players are going to be more well-rounded, basically. So let's look at their top board. They have a 1900 Good Giggly Wiggly, also known as Will Staples, on board 1 for them. And their board 4 should be Andy He, whose username is Andrews. So let's check out his game. He is 1700. So only about 200 rating point difference is what I'm getting at. So yeah, they're pretty close in terms of their team average rating. Whereas Caltech, their A team, they'll have a wider range, but their averages should balance out. All right, so let's figure out what game we want to look at. I mean, the 2200 here, board 1 against Andrews, bottom board from Duke. He's the favorite for sure. He's going to look to try to carry this Caltech team because they're actually lower rated on pretty much all of the other boards. They have two players that are 1500. Their board 2 and their board 3 are both in the 1550 range. And as we saw, Hannah is at 1300. So Hannah's going to have a hard time playing against this Duke team. I guess like all of the Caltech team is actually going to have a hard time because they're all lower rated than all 4 Duke players. So Duke would definitely be the favorite in this matchup, in my opinion. But like I said, they do have this boring positional play. Alexandru. Is that Deku? He is going to look to try to win all 4 games because he's the highest rated player. Let's keep an eye on. Well, let's look at Kevin's game. Kevin up against Hannah. So Hannah, she's the lowest rated player. She is Caltech's ambassador, so she is a club leader for sure. Maybe she can prove the rating wrong and get some upset wins. Let's start a prediction in the chat. Let's see. All right, we're going to say, does Duke win 10 or more points? I should maybe specify if it goes to overtime, but we'll just leave it at that. We've been doing that frequently. This is an annoying pin. And looks like Kevin doesn't like it so much that he's going to extend with g4. That kind of weakens this king. So Hannah actually has a good position here. Kevin contesting the center with the move c4, trying to break down this pawn chain. I actually like this move. This is defended by the bishop. This guy I almost missed, but he's over there protecting the king. 20,000 channel points on the line versus 1. Why is Jason Shi not playing for Caltech? That's a good question, and I don't know. I don't know if he graduated. Hannah's crushing it on the clock. Look at her time management. She's over 3 minutes. She has the most time compared to any of the players. And Kevin, meanwhile, has 40 seconds. There is increment. Now, this pin is also annoying. And we've got this knight trying to disrupt this pawn structure at the base and take advantage of this pin. That would be very annoying to allow that. So I'm expecting a queen move at this point. Also, a huge shout out to Max for the sub. You got that Founders fan? Well, this is your second month apparently, so you've already had the Founders badge. You're just repping it now, is what's happening. So the queen steps up, threatening checkmate. Bishop backs to block. Queen is also just defending this. There's no longer a pin. Hannah's doing really well here. She could definitely pull off an upset, which would be huge for the Caltech team. First time was a gift. You could still get the Founders badge if you renew this up, which is, I guess, what you did. But you didn't have to wait the whole month if that's what you ended up doing. I like this idea. I think this would be strong advancement for Hannah if she can advance. Although the problem is this guy's kind of hanging. Although I will say this is kind of like a fianchetto bishop, and we still have the light square bishop. So actually giving up this exchange happens more often than you might think. It could be strategic. This bishop could end up being very well placed, but Hannah decides not to kick the knight out, plays rook d8. Honestly, might be a better move. And Cordette, I mean, just 5 seconds now. You can't play like this to 2 minutes. 2 seconds. Unbelievable. Lots of pressure on the diagonal. Again, we could see this. There are 14 divisions, Brady Hanks. Trade here, but that blunders the queen. Oh my goodness, Hannah. You just had to use your clock a little bit. Use what time you had given to you. Oh no. And with 5 seconds, Kevin's just completely crushing. This is a free piece, by the way. And you can't even take back because that's going to blunder mate. So you get 2 pawns. Kevin's continuing to trade. He needs to speed up. That's Hannah's only hope, by the way, is to win by the dirty flag at this point. But she's not taking back here. This pawn is passed. Not sure why we wouldn't take. How many teams are in each division? We have 16. We should have an info page. Is this even a good page to go to? Let me link you. We have an events page, which I think might be best. Let me change this, honestly. That's a better link. Yeah, poor Hannah. She just blunders the queen. Let's check on her top board, her team captain. Looks like he's doing well against Andy. A +8 position, up a knight, so that's good. Let's check on Pranav from Caltech. He's very low on time, at 5 seconds himself. He's playing against the top board, Will. 1 second. Oh my God, he's offline. His internet gave out on him. That's not how you want to finish a game. Let's check on Veve. Let me actually change our info command. If you want to see all the matches, you can do !NACE, and you can see the schedule for the season. There's 7 weeks in the regular season, and we are in week 4 right now. All right, we've updated the info command. Let's see, point for Kevin, point for Will, and a point for boring positional play, Alexandru. All right, so there's 1 game left. Duke has the lead. This is an opposite color bishops game. Black is up a pawn. This is Pokemon Genius. Some may know him as Pika Naruto on Discord, but others know him as Naga Prasad. I had to abbreviate his name. It was too long for our scoreboard. But he goes by Naga. He is the ambassador from Duke. Yeah, black for choice by far. I mean, up a pawn. What more can you say? But this last move doesn't inspire too much. With opposite colored bishops, this is essentially dead drawn. Also, we've got every single pawn for both sides on the same color as the bishop. That means that they cannot attack the pawns. They can only defend their own pawns. And we might just see a quick 3-fold repetition here. Maybe even a draw offer. I don't think, well, if any side wants to push for something, it would be black. And the king is starting to move back, so maybe the king is able to come this way, right? But white also can move their king towards the center. But they aren't doing that. If the bishop keeps shuffling, this king could get in, which is very annoying. The king has made some progress here. I think white maybe got to the memo a little slowly, and now we see a pawn push and a trade. Here to here might be something, but this king might help advance the pawns. So yeah, it's interesting to say the least. This allows for the king to come here. Maybe. Yeah. King here. Right? Threatening this and this. Uh-oh. Is that a thing? Low time for Naga. I mean, low time for both sides. He's going to have to figure this out. How did the predictions end up, by the way? Is it still 20K to 1? Oh my goodness. That's insane. Brent all in on Duke getting 10 or more. Who put the 1 point on Caltech? Brady Hanks. Smartest bet of his life. Low time for Veve. King here. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Push. Trade. King takes. What more can you do? If I'm being honest. Now king takes. Okay, so now the pawns are even. Still completely a draw. Yeah, you could just leave this here and just move the king. The king doesn't even need to be around. Although if Naga's not careful, Naga could be the side that could make a mistake. Look, all the pieces are touching. They've made a blob. They might 3-fold that way. Naga, I mean, to be fair, Naga's pretty close at flagging his opponent, but now they've picked up the speed a little bit. There's a draw. All right, so Duke, 2.5 to 1.5 after that first round. A good result for them. If Jason was playing, you'd bet on Caltech. If Jason was playing, they might not be in Division 5. Isn't Jason a FIDE master? I don't know. Jason wants to steal your points. I do not blame him. I would gladly steal your points as well. No shame. Why not? That's a lot of points. You risked a lot for very minimal return, Brent. I don't think it's worth it. But, you know, to each their own. I'm surprised Max didn't get in on it. Also, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Vanguard University for sending us a raid at the start of our stream. So thank you to Vanguard. They've been trying to put in the hours. You didn't see the prediction, Max, when I said let's do a prediction? It happens. How many channel points do you have, Max? I'm assuming Brent went all in with 20K. How many do I have? I don't even have the stream pulled up personally, which I should. Let's see. I only have 6,000 channel points. You have 10,000? That's more than me. My issue is I'm streaming. I can't be watching. I should be watching. I should have more. Maybe I bet and lost them. I don't know. I wish I could get on this Brent bet. But in all fairness, I think Duke might win the challenge, so we'll have to see. All right, round 2. Completely underway. All 4 games have started. You love to see it. Let's check on the chess dog versus the good Giggly Wiggly. This is Hannah versus Will. So Hannah was so close in that first round. She could have gotten a huge upset for Caltech, but she blunders her queen. A Botez gambit. So we'll see if Hannah gets as good a position here against Duke's top board. Both sides have castled kingside. Bishop to g5. Maybe trying to connect. Yep, exactly. And knight here could be interesting, but pawn push. But black still has some options if they decide to go down that route. This would try to prevent white from trading off bishops, right? This is a very key defender of the king. The fianchetto bishop's always very valuable. So lining up the queen and bishop like this provides a battery that can trade off the dark square bishops. Let's check on Naga. Naga's got a tough opponent ahead of him. Top board from Caltech, who's at 2294. So maybe they're gonna get to 2300 fighting this match. I've never been 2300 myself. The highest I've been is 22 something. Right now I'm like 2100. Not that it really matters too much. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This is Division 5. We've got a lot of talented schools and teams and players. Both of these teams, of course. Good schools, good players. Lots of talent. I don't know if Caltech has normally played Duke before in like more traditional sports. I know Duke is definitely a powerhouse school for basketball. We were talking about that last time we were watching Duke play. They always seem to be the favorites. All right, trade here. This knight's hanging, so probably this. Looking at that, probably going to castle. This an improvement for sure, a better move. Because you're threatening both checks, right? And if you try to castle the king, knight here is going to trap the rook, which has no moves. So maybe this is a move, but you're still not going to be happy, right? Here, you could even take here, threatening that. Duke is not a powerhouse in basketball this year. Max, we got to bring you on for some color commentary. We have another match later tonight. I don't know if you it's a couple of West Coast teams. It's 10 p.m. Eastern. All right, so Naga gives up an exchange here. This is going to be a tough position to fight on from, but he does have both these knights attacking the e-pawn. Probably this, just a solid development defense kind of thing. We have opposite side castles. This pawn is hanging too, by the way. Pawn push, there's this, which is kind of crazy, but who knows? If I was Naga, I'd probably take on... okay, we could do a little calculation, right? Takes, and the threat is to trap the bishop. But can Alexandru get away with it, right? Because I'm looking at queen here is kind of a juicy move if this pawn moves out of the way. Right here, but then bishop takes, queen check. The bishop lives, but it is still kind of trapped. There's also like knight here. Welcome back, Lance. Naga does pull the trigger. He takes a risky move for sure. Let's see how Alexandru reacts. Do we trap the bishop here? This is the most logical continuation, right? This move not only grabbing a pawn, trying to induce weaknesses, but also opening up the queen to attack yet another pawn for a third time, only defended twice. So if you try to trap the bishop, you're going to lose another pawn. Now, if you could win the bishop, that's worth it, right? Black would give that up. But as we can see, it's a tricky position, right? You're down in exchange. Might as well make things even trickier. Bishop here trying to put pressure on the knights, right? So this bishop can retreat if it wants to. And I think that might be the best move here, right? Offer some defense and attack the knight, which is one of the key defenders of this pawn, by the way. White, if they wanted to, could take this. I don't think that would be best. We also have rook here, right? That's not very pleasant. There is something like this to help defend, or rook here as well. But you do still have to worry about this guy. So we've got this pin now. Black's threatening to take this, by the way. I don't know if you guys could tell. Taking this, you have to take back with the pawn. And then we push? I don't know. This helps support this, so maybe we don't want to take the knight. But my point was that if the knight still wasn't defended properly, we could remove the defender. You can't take back with the knight because you lose the queen. So they'd have to take back, and then we win the piece for free. So white offers extra support over the knight. Black decides to take anyways, taking here as well. That's winning material for black. Rook takes, hitting the queen. And black still has this b6 move in their pocket if they want. They could take here. Do you play b6 now? And then probably they have to sack the bishop for it. It's not looking good for Naga. Especially if he loses the bishop. He was already down in exchange. He would be down a whole rook if that happens. Let's check on Kevin here. Kevin's very low on time. We saw Kevin low on time against Hannah, and that ended up working out for him as Hannah blundered a queen. But is Pranav going to let Kevin off the hook so easily? Pranav has 1 minute and 45 seconds to Kevin's 14.9 seconds. White's probably going to take on f6. Let's see. Black has the bishop pair. So white could give up that last bishop. It would ruin black's pawn structure. White also has a ruined pawn structure of their own. No, we see a bishop sacrifice. And the bishop comes back, a very important defender here. This is really good for black, actually. I don't think that sacrifice was worth it. The knight, the bishop, the queen, they're all around to help defend, right? Even with a knight and a rook, which might struggle to get into the game anyways, like everything's defended. Knight here doesn't threaten mate because the knight covers us. Knight's defended by the queen. Queen steps back. So Pranav, he pulls the trigger knowing that his opponent is in time pressure. But I think that gives Kevin exactly what he needs to be able to survive the attack. A chance, an opportunity. Knight's looking at this beautiful outpost home on e3, by the way. White needs to bring in the pieces. Knight here, hitting the queen. Queen here. Maybe this or this. Not sure. Here, like this could fall. Offering a queen trade, that is not smart at all by Pranav. When you are up like that, 1 second left for Kevin, and he pulls off knight takes d3, winning more material. Pawn push, hitting the bishop. Bishop has to go back. No, what is this? Giving up the piece? Takes, now knight check. Completely unnecessary from Kevin. Giving up the bishop. He had bishop f8. Why it wasn't played, I couldn't tell you. Hello to Brody. How's it going? All right. Hannah loses to Will. So Will improves to 2 out of 2. I'm mesmerized by this game. I have no idea what's going on. Both sides now very low on time. Kevin definitely seems to be the favorite. Okay, knight f6. Oh, the b pawn is hanging. The knight's hit. Can we take on f7? Knight takes and then play knight here. That looks good. Missed. There was a tactic to win that. And instead, you're losing the b pawn. Black has so many pawns. Look at this. This pawn and this pawn, I mean, they're connected. White's trying to stir up trouble, though. But black's going to promote. Rook takes. No. You can't do that. No, you're just done. You're done for. There was knight takes. No, Kevin's too good in time pressure. Yeah, the bishop sacrifice was just too much from Pranav. He needed to play more solid. Maybe a stalemate trick, but you got to get rid of the pawn moves is the thing. Queen here. Here. Mate next. Nicely done from Kevin. Oh, and we just tuned in to see Andy get flagged. I mean, it still hasn't even popped up that he lost. Okay, point for Kevin, also at 2 points. Andy got flagged by Ave. At least I think. And boring position player also improved to 2. So they split that round 2-2. So Caltech improved, but the score deficit remains the same. Duke ahead by 1 point. So they're holding on to their initial first round lead. You drew Kevin in the last year's Kasparov tourney. Nice. We've got some history between some of these college chess players, it seems. Good to see the community. You know, get familiar with each other. It's not nice. Well, okay. You were also like, you're much better these days compared to last year. New place, Alex, technically, I guess. This is like an intermediate place for me. What's up, Kanib? How are you? All right, I'm waiting for round 3 to start. All right, here we go. Round 3. We've got a Scandi. Caltech's top board against Kevin Ordet. Both players 2 for 2. Who's going to remain perfect? Who's going to get their first loss? Or are we going to have a draw? I don't think we'll see a draw. We've got Alexandru getting up to 2,300. A nice milestone. You're good. That's great. You're a ski bum. That sounds lovely. Fun fact, you guys. Alex, I met back in Indiana on my road trip before the Sinkfield Cup. And that's also, I believe Alex met Brody there as well. But I noticed Alex is streaming a lot on the Chess Club at IU Twitch channel. Or are you guys the IU Chess Club still? I don't know. Anyways, I noticed that Alex had stopped being on stream. It was just his friends, the ambassadors Adam and Tank. And I asked them, "Where's Alex?" And they said, "Oh, he's off in California skiing." So I just did a road trip from Oregon to California, and I stayed with some friends in Sacramento, and they're like, "Hey, we should go skiing at Tahoe." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." And just it clicked with me. I was like, "Oh, I should ask Alex if he's nearby." Lo and behold, he is there. And we did meet up and we went skiing. So good times. Always good to see some college chess folks. That queen was so short on squares. This was literally the only safe place. That bishop almost taken away all the retreating. So queen steps up, hits the pawn. I did fall over once, but I don't think it was embarrassing. Alex is pretty good. I mean, he said that he'd only been skiing for like 2 weeks when we met, but he's definitely already better than me, and he's probably improved since then as well. But we went down a few black diamond slopes that they had. All around good times for sure. All right, Kevin leaves the B pawn, says, "Go ahead, take it, I dare you." If takes, there's this here, here, and that would be a trapped queen, ladies and gentlemen. About to eat dinner. Very nice. All right, castles. So Max, you want to do some co-commentary at 10 p.m. Eastern? We've got Utah State University versus UC Santa Cruz. I forgot which division that is. Hold on, should I look it up? That's Division 13. It's Utah State's B team and Santa Cruz's C team. Do I know anyone from those two schools that could do commentary with me? I don't really think so. Top under 1600 team. Very nice. He beat a 1700. That's crazy. 4 out of 6 is pretty good. Pot stickers. That's exciting. Brody, I've seen his kitchen. You know, Brody on the SIUE campus really has a lot of choices. You know, you could stay at home and cook. I feel like he also had a lot of, was it flavored popcorn that you had? I don't know. I can't remember. You had something. They weren't flavored almonds, were they? That'd be crazy. Anyways, you had something. But yeah, he could stay at home and cook, or he could go out and have Boss Burger. Really spoiled for choice over at Edwardsville, Illinois. Just because Richard, the commentator for UC Santa Cruz and Utah State University. I know one guy with experience from Utah. Well, he did go to University of Utah, so I don't know if it'd really count. But it's all good. I don't even know if I have a scene template ready for a co-commentator. I'd have to set that up. 12 flavors of popcorn. Okay. Yeah, have you guys like gone through those yet? I like knight here, attacking the queen and the bishop. Some would consider that a fork. Bishop's defended, but I don't know. Some people like bishops over knights. And we'll see if Alexandru agrees. We have knight takes knight. Temporarily hitting the queen, so no time to take. I mean, you could have taken, but that would not have been favorable. You'd be down a piece. So takes and doesn't take with the knight. Takes with the pawn. That pins this pawn, by the way. I feel like e5 feels like it could be a strong move. 5 months ago? What, that you finished the popcorn? I mean, I don't know. I like the move e5. I would go for that. Why not? Attack the pinned piece, as they say. Alexandru also has over double Kevin's time. Kevin's been in time pressure every single game so far, and he's won every single game so far. So if you can't beat him on the clock, you're going to have to beat him on the board, and that's what Alexandru's going for right here. We'll see. Thinking out the moves here. This just feels right, you know? It feels like there's something there. Goes for c5 instead. And now Kevin's under a minute, having to figure out how to navigate these tricky waters. There's discoveries, trades. There's two ways to take back here. Takes with the bishop. Here or here, right? Gonna eye up some of these dark square weaknesses here. This helps eyeing up this. White probably gonna have to play this at some point. So black doubles, taking the only open D file. This could win material for black. No. You take twice. Take this, but then you get checked. There's bishop block. Huh. And then, yeah, these pawns look very weak, although I guess there's queen takes. No, you take here. This is attacked twice. Yeah, we might see Alexandru go for this. It might just be best. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Just simplify that down. I want to look at, let's check on Hannah's game. She's up on time. She's playing against Andy. Andy is also aboard 4. Oh, we have a result. Whoa, Veve gets an upset win and ties it up for Caltech. Big point over Good Giggly Wiggly, a resigner here. Wow, big fork landed. Knight here, and the 1900 top board from Duke missed the fork. The royal fork, king and queen. Lined up there for the knight. Here, we've got Pranav versus Naga. Pranav's at 30 seconds. Naga's at a minute. Offers a queen trade here. I feel like rook here seems like a winning tactic, don't you think? Takes, we've takes. Computer doesn't seem to like it that much. Look at that. Oh, there's this move, which I missed. A check. Classic. Yeah, trade queen's just not working. Rook takes intermezzo. Then knight takes back. That wins a rook for Pranav. In time pressure, he finds it against Naga. Naga missed queen a1 check. To be fair, I missed it too. Alex saw it, but Naga did not, unfortunately. So a nice tactic here from Pranav should be good enough to win the game. Let's check back on our top board. Let's see. So looks like we did see the queen take on b2. So both rooks traded off. Queen steps up. Black's going for this pawn. Black also made a flight square. Queen here hitting this. Bishop back for some reason. Knight here, there's queen takes. Yep. Queen takes. I'll go for this pawn, yes. And also clearing the way for our pawn. 1 second. Kevin finally gets flagged after his first 2 games being so low. So Alexandru able to give Kevin his first loss of the match. Pranav gets a big point. His first point, that was against Naga. And if Hannah can win, Caltech sweeps the 3rd round, which would be huge. And she's up on time, barely. But it looks like she's doing well in the position as well. Knight's going after this pawn. But the rook now going after the b pawn. 2 seconds for her. She's very low on time. She takes the a pawn. Rook here, though. Gonna get that pawn back. 1 second. Oh, my God. She's got to go faster. 2 seconds. 1 second. Move. 2.2. Rook to the outside. Oh, that's a fork. Oh, Andy blunders with this last move, but catches her off guard with the dirty flag. She's unable to find and play the fork in time. She goes down. So Duke doesn't get swept, but it was close. That gives Caltech the lead, though. They won that round 3-1. So they are up by 1 after being down by 1 since the start. And we have 1 round remaining. Caltech, they need to split it 2-2, but Duke needs to win it 3-1 to win. So pressure on Duke after they've been leading the first 2 rounds. Now they're in the back seat. Caltech with the momentum going into the 4th and final round. This is going to decide the match. This is huge. Take care, Alex. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Just Move merch. She needed this, man. She needed it. That would have been it, but hard to find. Easy for me to see and to say with the eval bar. I ain't making no moves. Hannah's heart rate's got to be spiking right now. She's got to be through the roof. And she's got one last round to get on the board. Both Andy and Hannah there were 0 out of 2 before that. Jay Cottenham, thanks for the follow. Welcome. So Chess Master Brent, his points, he put 20K on the line for Duke to get 10 points. Maybe they were on a good pace. I mean, what? They had 4.5 in the first 2 rounds. So, I mean, that was on pace for like 9 points. Now they're at 5.5, so they didn't really do very well. They need to win. Actually, they can't even get 10. If they sweep this round, they only get 9.5. So, they would need to force overtime, which means they need to win this round 2.5 to 1.5. All right, round 4 now underway. We've got the games rolling in. Here we've got the top 2 boards. So like I said, Alexandru from the get-go looking to sweep Duke. And if he gets the job done here, he only needs his teammates to get 1 point out of 3 games for them to win. So, yeah, we'll see. Good giggly wiggly. They got their first loss of the match. Actually, Duke's top 2 boards were both perfect, 2 for 2. But that last round, they hit a brick wall. Kevin and Will both lost. So they're going to look to see if they can answer back here. White's ready to get castled here if they wish. Black has 2 moves left before they can. So what does Alex want to do here? Bring the knight out seems like a natural response. Was this an Alapin? Yes, it was. You can tell by the missing c-pawns. Definitely one of my favorite openings against the Sicilian. So simply castling. Bishop here tends to be a fairly obvious follow-up. Getting ready to get castled. Now that White's castled, let's see what Alexandru wants to do. We've got 2 pieces here that need to be developed. You faced Nicola, a legend. How'd it go? He's a pretty good player. He's beaten me my fair share. Here, Kevin looks to have a good position here. I don't know what was traded, but the knight gets taken. Offered bishop trade here from Veve. Bishop just tugs back simply. This is a very strong bishop. Long diagonal, but White's going to try to close this at the cost of opening the F file. Black says, no thanks. I'll close this. And yeah, White says, I don't want you to play F3, so I'm going to play F3 myself. Much to Ben Feingold's advice. Okay, so yeah, this last move, not a fan. We're left with these doubled C pawns. This pawn is never pushing, which means this pawn is never pushing, which means this bishop needs to leave. Yeah, our bishop also is now boxed in. Kevin's got a great position here against Veve, just positionally. The structure is terrible for White after this last capture. Leave the tension, right? Leave the pieces here because you have potential. If they ever take, which they probably wouldn't, you at least straighten things out and your pieces have new life. But here, there's just no chance, right? Look at this. Already hit twice. What are you going to do? Play this? This? I mean, yeah. Double isolated pawns, no good. You have the bishop pair, but they are absolutely struggling, gasping for air, drowned by their own pawns. So Veve's got a hole to dig himself out of. So that's looking good for Duke there. Yeah, we have a pawn sacrifice just to get things rolling. All right, let's check in on our top boards here. Okay, knight hits the bishop. That's annoying to deal with. This bishop trying to line up opposite the queen. If the bishop retreats to save itself, this knight falls. So probably black is just going to have to live with this or defend here. Knight comes back. This is going to allow knight takes. And if knight takes back, we have pawn push. That's called a fork, ladies and gentlemen. That's not good. So you're going to have to take back with the pawn here. F takes, only move. That's no fun. Now we can go here maybe. A double attack on the knight as well as preventing the king from castling. Seems somewhat logical. Maybe there's like pawn takes, but triple isolated pawns, not so great. But I don't know, there's also like takes here. Takes. Luckily, the knight defends. So if we do have a queen check, the queen can block. You blundered repetition. Well, a draw isn't that bad, if I'm being honest. Bishop takes on c6 played. Pawn takes. Maybe here. Very low on time, though, for Alexandru compared to Will. Will's at 3.5 minutes. Over double Alexandru's time. All right, simply rook e1 played. Very interesting. Black has an opportunity to castle now. Let's check on Andrew's game. Andy versus Pranav. So yeah, Duke, I mean, they're outrating Caltech on the bottom 3 boards, so they're technically the favorite to win. Like, so that last round, was it a fluke? Can Caltech hold on to their 1-point lead, or is Duke going to take it back here in the 4th round? Offering a rook trade. We have the same color bishops, but white seems to be up a b pawn, which is pretty good. Structurally, I think black might be better, although they don't have a flight square yet. But you can tell white has most pawns on light squares when they both have light square bishops, and black has most pawns on dark squares, which typically will favor the side with the pawns on the opposite color, right? Because this pawn cannot attack dark square pawns, or this bishop, excuse me. This bishop, meanwhile, can attack all of these pawns. Later on in the game, these pawns can be a weakness if the bishop can get behind. Take care, Brent. Have fun at practice. I love you say chess club practice. Usually, like, it was just chess club, but you're like practicing. Are you practicing for the chess club, or are you practicing for the Collegiate Chess League? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, the games are getting down to the wire here. Another pawn put on a light square. So even though black is down a pawn, I think that black should at least have compensation. This is offering a queen trade. Probably you don't want to trade queens, I'm guessing. Going over the amateur team East games, very fun. All right, let's check on Will versus Alexandru. Alex, very low on time. This could be his first loss of the match at the hands of Will. So this is from the Alpen. Rook e1, kind of a passive move. Knight into d5. Bishop d2. Rook hits the queen. Queen steps back to c2. Defending things. Queen out, hitting this and this. Very low time to figure out the defense. So knight takes knight. Black can take back either which way. And looks like bishop c3 is going to be what you need. Pawn takes here, interestingly. This opens up that, but it also opens up this. So, yeah, kind of a double-edged move here, and I'm just worried Alexandru just doesn't have a lot of time. Naga gets a win against Hannah, so Hannah gets swept. Naga gets the equalizer. That's his first win of the match. Puts him at 1.5. Bishop here locking down this pawn structure, but bishop takes anyways. Bishop trade. Queen's going to take. That's going to open up a lot here. Rook e2 calmly, trying to hold on to everything. This rook might get involved. Black definitely for choice here. Yeah, black is actually just down a pawn. Or black is up a pawn and has the pawn center for sure. Much more active queen. Much more active rooks. I mean, white has them doubled on the e-file, but this rook seems to be more defensive. If this rook lifts, we have rook takes here. Devastating attack. So Caltech, I mean, it's the next 2 points win. We have 3 games remaining. Either team could go 2 out of 3 and win this. Let's check on Veve and Kevin. King steps aside. Bishop trying to get the queen to take, because then there's queen takes fork. A nice find from Kevin. Kevin, again, back against the wall. Very low time. More active rooks for black. This rook, I don't know what it's doing. The king stepped here to cover the g1 square. If the rook left, queen g1 would be annoying. So the rook can move yet again. Is black threatening anything? I mean, white has the b file. I don't know, queen back. This rook is just a smothered piece. Black just making quick moves, quick and easy. It's what they need to come back. Rook swings back. This at some point, but when? Maybe the bishop needs to move. 2 seconds. Kevin brings the rook back. This rook is just needs to be improved. Offers a queen trade, gets it. Rook over. Put the rook here. Pushing the a pawn. Not sure why. Yeah, Kevin just offering a rook trade. Look at how bad your rook is. Like black, they put both rooks on the back rank. Kevin's playing very calm under the pressure like this. You can trade and then bring the rook back over, right? Rook back, but there's check, and you're going to win the g-pawn. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Kevin's going to win this. Okay. Naga beat Hannah, and Alexandru won against Will, so gets the sweep with the checkmate. That's crazy. Queen traded for 2 rooks, and black just couldn't help themselves. Taking a pawn, blunders mate in 1 in time pressure. Crazy. Kevin, I think, is going to win. Caltech needs 1 point out of the remaining 2. These are the boards 2 and 3. This one, both sides tied. Pranav could win it for Caltech here. Looks like he's winning the c-pawn, and he's going to be up that e-pawn. That's going to be enough if he can convert this. This should be fairly simple. King and pawn endgame. Can he do it? Or can his opponent hold a draw? This is down to Andy He. This is Duke's bottom board. Love this move. H4, locking down white's pawns. 2 seconds for Andy. This could be it. He's going to get into zugzwang here. Pawn push. King over, king here. Yeah. This will be a simple conversion. Andy's hoping for a stalemate or something. He gives up this pawn. He's losing these 2. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. This other game's not even going to matter. Kevin versus Veve. I mean, Kevin's winning, but his team is just behind. This pawn is promoting. Yeah, tough. Tough for Veve, but his teammate Pranav is gonna get the win. That's a check, king up, and that's gonna be a queen. Just don't stalemate. Yeah, queen here, very nice. Finds a mate in two, and that's it. Caltech, the come from behind win. This game doesn't matter at this point. So nicely done. Pranav gets his second point. So yeah, Pranav and Alexandru, the top two boards from Caltech, they combine. Kevin gets his third point out of 4, but they are just a draw shy. 7.5 to 8.5. So there you have it. Caltech, a huge round 3, winning 3-1. Their top board going perfect, 4 for 4. And yeah, that's going to carry Caltech to get a win over a strong Duke C team. So thank you all for being here. That was a lot of fun. Sorry to Brent, who lost all 20,000 channel points. Yeah, strong performance there from Caltech. I mean, such a close match. 8.5 to 7.5. Literally couldn't be any closer. Always a fun results, a fun score to see. And yeah, congrats again to Caltech. Fun match. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. We do have one more match later today. That's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 Pacific, which is in 2 hours. We're going to be watching UC Santa Cruz take on Utah State University in Division 13. So we have 14 divisions. This is the second lowest division we have to offer. So it should definitely be a good time, a fun time. Be sure to check it out. If you remember 2 hours from now, I'm going to go eat dinner, and then, yeah, I'll be back. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your day. Stick around for the raid. Hello to Headbands. Good to see you. All right. Thanks. Take care.